Speaker, can I start my remarks by saying that I've been reminded by my staff, I'm sorry that they did this, that I have been present at 42 Queen's speeches. This is the 42nd. But can I say how concerned I am that this government seems to be downgrading Parliament all the time. I can never remember being in these debates without a Secretary of State being on the front bench defending the Queen's speech and the elements within it. And, you know, we have seen this downgrading of Parliament consistently and persistently, and as a long-serving member, it worries me very much indeed. But can I say, in terms of this Queen's speech, it is deeply disappointing in so many things have been missed out. I disagreed with almost everything the honourable gentleman has just said from South Dorset, except on one thing, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm sure you'd like some bipartisan remarks, and that is about the strength of our army. I have stood up in this chamber for a long time saying that it was dangerous to have an armed forces lower than 100,000 personnel. We're now planning to go down to 72,000 at a time where the world is a very worrying place. I actually think that we have to take that very, very seriously indeed. But can I say that it's what is missing out of this Queen's speech that worries me so much. One of the greatest challenges we have is the challenge of health and social care. And we've been promised, haven't we, a firm government action to do something about social care. And I don't know, Madam Deputy Speaker, about your constituency in Doncaster, but mine in Huddersfield, you know, where one of the real problems of the health sector is people are taken into A&E, taken into a hospital, but cannot be released because there's nowhere suitable for them living in supportive living in our communities. And having nothing about social care, and in terms of a housing bill, nothing about building appropriate housing for supported living. That is a very big miss in this Queen's speech. Can I also say that the other big miss is a moral miss? The fact of the matter, all of us in politics know that our country has been in terrible trouble. Our constituents have had a tough time. They've had COVID, they've had years of austerity, and now they've got higher levels of energy costs, heating their home and paying for their food to fill their children's and members of the family's tummies. That's the truth of it, traumatic background. And I was expecting a Queen's speech that said, this is a national crisis, let us get together and sort it. Well, I tell you, Madam Deputy Speaker, what is missing in this debate is the honesty. The honesty where we are promised lower taxation. All of us know, in our hearts, that somebody has got to pay to put this country right, to do all the things that we want in health and social care, to rebuild the welfare state that has been found wanting as we faced COVID, where people shocked that in this country, one of the lowest countries for paying unemployment benefit, when people who would never thought they would lose their jobs or be made unemployed realised how weak the support was for their family. In a second. But also, Madam Deputy Speaker, I think that what is missing, this honesty about someone. I mix with a lot of people that are earning pretty good money, professional people with good salaries. They tell me we should be paying more tax. They say, because we want a decent society, we want to pay more tax. So can I just put that on the record? Let's be honest with people, and let's say, if we want a decent welfare state, if we want decent services, if we want decent local government, then we must be willing to pay for them. Secondly, Madam Deputy Speaker, I believe, 2 minutes, we've also demoralised so many of the people on the front line. I don't want to use it in a kind of military sense, but the people on the front line, our health workers, our nurses and doctors, our care workers, the people working in local authorities who do everything to make our local society and local community viable and decent to live in. They all have felt undervalued. They have all felt that nobody really values what the service is that they provide, whether it's emptying our bins or running the schools, all the things. When local government had decent resources, they did, and we believed that that was the right thing to do. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, so we were expecting great things from this Queen's speech, and we haven't got them. Can I also turn to the fact that when we have an environment crisis, when we have had COP26, when we've had aspirations to say the other great challenge, apart from health, is our environment. Here we have a country where many of the communities that we represent, we are poisoning children, poisoning pregnant women, poisoning our constituents with the filthy air that they breathe. Nothing in this Queen's speech will meet that challenge. Very little at all to touch at all. Little reference in terms of a cleaner transport system. Madam Speaker, that is not enough when we face global warming, only reminded yesterday, climate change, that we will get this increased temperature which would eventually destroy life on this planet. Nothing in this bill doesn't exist, there's no threat. So, health and social care. Education, Madam Deputy Speaker. If we really... I went to the London School of Economics. I'm very proud that I did, both as an undergraduate and as a postgraduate. And our motto was to understand the causes of things. And when I look at the causes of inequality in our country, I immediately look at education. I immediately look at levels of child poverty. And I know that when I worked with Tony Blair's government and with Tony Blair in terms of that 1997 government, where the only time we can remember what the main thrust of the campaign was: education, education, education. And we've had a system where we know that if you want to tackle underprivilege, poor attainment at school, poor attainment in skills, you have to invest in early education, in preschool, in early school, for supporting families in literacy and numeracy and using the English language. The fact of the matter is, nothing in this bill about if they be levelling up. Where is the determination to bring back children's centres? Where is the policy that we used to have in terms of trying to give every child a proper chance in their lives? It's not there, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's an appalling missed opportunity. And it's also a time, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I don't want to go on too long on my speech, because the fact of the matter is, I think there's some positive things we could have in this Queen's speech, and we've seen some unity in terms of how we've faced together cross-party COVID, and we've had cross-party cooperation in terms of support of Ukraine, thank goodness. But surely there are things that we could have done. If we could have agreed that we need in this country 500 sustainable towns and cities based on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, that would have lifted us up. It would have given people a chance to roll up their sleeves and change their environment, not just on the big global level, but in their communities locally. That is what is missing. This vision, passion, and wonderful commitment that we have in some areas, but this Queen's speech has failed to deliver on the environment, on education, on aspiration, and I am very sad that that is the case. Yeah.